Welcome back. Now it's time for our weekly energy update with Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy.
Well, thank you for that, Teresa. And we are looking at some very interesting and perhaps perplexing moves by the energy sector. Those who are involved in trades, money managers, short sellers, ETFs and things like that. They're really on some kind of high that has nothing to do with fundamentals. The Energy Information Agency in the United States Department of Energy has pointed out that they have had a tradition now for the past year or so of overestimating supply production and underestimating demand. Well, that's creating in an environment where this month, January, is going to be the coldest January we've seen in North America in 11 years, is that the inventories may not hold up. And I'm not sure if it's complacency or just wokishness by some people who are money managers, and that's probably a lot of day traders as well. You're ignoring something that's extraordinarily important. The inventories at places like Cushing, Oklahoma, are at extraordinarily low levels, probably the worst we've seen in 15 years. It looks like the new administration, we'll talk about that a little later on, the United States is going to be sanctioning not only Venezuela and Iran, but Russia as well. Where are you going to get the energy from? Mr. Trump has to believe that, he can't do without Canadian energy. That's because a lot of U.S. Midwest and U.S. Gulf Coast refineries run on heavy oil. They're not getting it from Venezuela. They're not getting it from Iran. They're not going to get it from Russia. Saudi Arabia isn't interested, nor is the UAE in selling it. So it's got to come from Canada. And one would have to think that at $71, $74 a barrel, we're way underpriced for where we should be. Heating oil, diesel oil are all going to be going up in price this week. So let's talk about that a little bit. We've seen some increases in the East Coast, not so much on the West Coast, where there have been, the fall in prices. But I think all of that is going to reverse itself. We're back to 177 in Vancouver, going to 180, so at about a 3-cent increase. Diesel will be up 5 cents a liter this week, as will heating oil. Same for Alberta, although we know in Alberta and Saskatchewan, gas retailers tend to use up their 8-9 cent retail margins when prices go up, but then they have to, throw the towel in when this happens. So yeah, the 140 to 132 you're seeing between Calgary and Edmonton, and 142, 148 in Regina and Saskatoon. Look for those prices to turn around a little bit and go up about 3 cents a liter on average, with diesel heading up about 6 cents a liter. Ditto for Manitoba, that now finally has to pay real prices now that the government has put back its provincial sales tax. That was an increase last week. 14 cents a liter caught a lot of people off guard. Same thing with diesel, up about 5-6 cents a liter. So when you come to Ontario, you've noticed prices are holding in the 155, 156 range. Look for those to hit towards $1.60 by this time next week. So up about net 4 cents a liter and 5 cents for diesel. Same for Quebec, which follows the same. And the Maritimes, which saw a pretty big sticker shock this Thursday and Friday, are expected to see another 3-cent increase for gasoline, another 3, maybe even 4-cent increase for diesel. What this all means is that in anticipation of the new administration coming in on January 20th, was just a few days away, a week and a half or so, is that many are suspecting that there won't be much in the way of any announcements. And if there is, it'll take a while for that to come through. The biggest concern that Canadians have to have, which we have expressed here at Canadians for Affordable Energy, and I've been doing for 25, 30 years, the value of the Canadian dollar matters. Why? Think of it this way. Every time you pull up to a gas station or any other commodity that's priced in U.S. terms, that's all of them, it's costing you an extra 25 cents a liter because the Canadian dollar is not trading at par with the U.S. greenback. And why is that? We're not selling enough of the things that we should be selling, not just the United States, but the rest of the world. So no one's buying Canadian currencies. They're shedding Canadian currencies. There's a devolution of interest in Canada. A lot of it to do with government policy and the green net zero nonsense that we're seeing. We know that Justin Trudeau has been pushing this for some time with his friends in the NDP, the Bloc, and of course the Greens. But now it's going to be probably someone like Mark Carney, the real manipulator, the lever, the guy behind the curtains, if you will, the man behind the curtains that was operating many of these policies, including divestment from the Canadian oil and gas sector. That's a sector that produces 25 to 30 billion dollars in revenues for the Canadian government. So your hospitals can run, your social programs can run, so your infrastructure can be sustained. I know a lot of people saying, oh, it's no big deal. Let's worry about the temperature. Put your head outside these days and see how cold it is in this country. We're now starting to figure out that these net zero policies have one objective: net zero in your pocket. And that's, of course, where we're going to leave it for this week. Prices are going up. Reality is coming back in, and that starts on January 20th. We're all about to get a real kick in the wallet over the next couple of weeks. That's it for this week, Teresa, and we'll talk next week.